Namo Amida Buddha. Question. Why are we urged to aspire to birth in the Pure Land, and why not try to attain enlightenment here, in this world? Answer. The environment in which we now live is the product of our karma and the interrelated karma of all beings. This impure common karma gave rise to an impure environment which also influences us and in which it is hard to have a true spiritual evolution. We ourselves are sick, our fellow beings are sick, and the environment is also sick. This is why we are urged to aspire to be born after death in the Pure Land. This land is the healthy, enlightened realm of Amida, a suitable environment which is not the product of evil karma, but of Amida's pure karmic merits. Once born in such a sane environment, our insanity is cured instantly. Our delusions naturally melt like ice meeting fire, and our true enlightened nature will appear. Question. If I am in the Pure Land after I die, what would happen if I never get enlightened? Is there a time limit to attain enlightenment in the Pure Land? I'm scared, as I don't want to experience birth, age, and death anymore. Answer. You do not need to worry about attaining enlightenment in the Pure Land. Once you reach the Pure Land, you will never retrogress or fall back again into the world of birth and death. You see, the Pure Land is manifested by Amida Buddha, and everything there is conducive to enlightenment. In contrast to this, everything here in samsara is conducive to attachment, blind passions, and suffering. So you will be 100% safe when you are born in the Pure Land, and you will attain enlightenment or Buddhahood quickly, that is, in the next moment of your birth there. All you need to do is simply entrust to Amida Buddha during your life. If you do this, you are assured of birth in the Pure Land, and you will go there as naturally as a river flows to the ocean. What I mean by to entrust is to rely completely on Amida and think that everything needed for your birth is in Amida's realm, in his power. Do not think that you can add something from your own personality to your birth in the Pure Land, because if you do that, then it means that you do not rely completely on Amida's power. You just have to let Amida save you and take you to his Pure Land when you die. This is the essence of his Primal Vow, in which it is said that all those who entrust completely in him, say his name in faith, and wish to be born there, will indeed be born there and attain enlightenment. There can be no obstacle to your birth in the Pure Land or attaining enlightenment if you rely completely on Amida. Question. I'm worried about my living or deceased relatives who do not have and don't have faith in Amida Buddha during their lifetime. Who knows what sufferings they will endure or will endure in the various samsaric planes of existence, especially if they are reborn in the lower realms or even in hell. Also, I'm concerned that there is too much time until I attain birth in the Pure Land and become able to help them. Answer. We never really know what others may become after they die. Certainly, if they did not have settled faith in Amida during their present life, they will not be reborn in the Pure Land and immediately attain Buddhahood. But this does not mean that they will absolutely go to hell. The truth is, we can never know what karma may manifest during their bardo, that is, the intermediary state between birth, death, and the next rebirth. Also, what we call time is part of the illusory experience of unenlightened beings and unenlightened minds. Now it seems that time goes slowly, but in reality, the human life, and your life too, is very short in comparison with the life of a person living in hell or other planes of existence. In some realms, 1 day or even 1 hour is 1,000 years of human life, and even more. Master Genshin explained this in his Ojo Yosho. So it is useless to dwell on such things, as your entire lifetime may be only a few minutes or seconds for them. Thus, you should better focus on what you can do now. Enjoy the Nembutsu of faith, listen to Amida Dharma, etc., and be happy that in the time of 1 hour or only a few minutes and seconds according to other planes of existence, you will go after all the people you love and died before you. You should also find happiness in knowing that Amida Buddha himself always tries his best to bring them closer and closer to him. This is extremely important. Amida knows every sentient being personally and has everyone permanently in front of his eyes. For example, he worked a lot during your many lives to bring you closer and closer to him. So here you are in the present life, entrusting yourself to him after you met his Dharma through the efforts of his faithful transmitters. Please remember that the beings you love are not only in your plan to save, but they are also in Amida's plan. Amida does not wait for you to come to his Pure Land to help them. He is already trying to help them by various means now, while we speak. It is really just a matter of time until they will become open enough to him and entrust to his primal vow. Perhaps, who knows, in another plane of existence, some of your relatives have already met Amida Dharma and received faith. There are many universes with the same 6 realms like ours, including humans, so you can never know for sure. Understanding this, you can stop worrying and instead enjoy your life in the Nembutsu and do what you can with the time you have until you go to the Pure Land. If you continue to be an Amida devotee, others will see this, and perhaps they might have a change of heart even during this life. But if not, again I say, do not worry. Amida Buddha will never stop working on everyone's salvation until all samsara becomes empty. Question. I respect and worship both Maitreya and Amida Buddha. They have their own realms and practices associated with them. I also worship and respect all Buddhas. What is your opinion about this? Answer. It is good to respect all Buddhas, but we must remember that each Buddha has his own way of relating with sentient beings. Maitreya has a different way, and Amida has a different way. If we want to connect with Amida Buddha, we must follow his instructions from his primal vow, entrust to me, say my name, and wish to be born in my land. Nothing else. So, in order to be born in Amida's land, we must focus on Amida exclusively. That is, entrust only to him, say his name only, and wish to be born only in his Pure Land. This is very easy to understand. Both Maitreya and Amida have their own realms, Tushita and Sukhavati respectively, where beings may wish to go to after death. It's like 2 different cities. If you want to reach one city, you take a specific train. You cannot take the same train and simultaneously reach both cities. You have to choose. In your case, you have to choose whether you wish to go to Maitreya's land or Amida's land. However, the difference between the 2 realms is that in Amida's land, that in Maitreya's land, it is harder to go, while in Amida's land, everybody can go. It is the easiest place to go to. But it requires exclusive practice and faith. You must understand that to say exclusively the name of Amida Buddha while entrusting yourself only to him does not mean that you are disrespectful towards other Buddhas or that you neglect them. Buddhas are not like ordinary people or children to feel neglected. On the contrary, all the Buddhas want you and all beings to rely exclusively on Amida, and all Buddhas praise Amida's name and encourage you to say it. Why? Because the main purpose of any Buddha is to save all beings, and they are aware that among all methods, Amida's way of salvation alone fulfills this goal of saving everybody, without taking into consideration their level of spiritual evolution. It is exactly because Amida's path is the easiest path that all Buddhas praise it. More than this, because all Buddhas praise Amida's name, when you say Amida's name, you automatically praise all Buddhas, so there is no need to praise or rely on each one of them individually. When you follow what all Buddhas praise and encourage you to do, then you automatically follow them too. Being focused on Amida exclusively, you also show respect towards Maitreya. The Buddhas preach many methods for those who cannot yet entrust to Amida exclusively, but their true wish is that we all come in the end to focus on Amida exclusively. So any other Buddhist practice and teaching which is not related with exclusively entrusting to Amida Buddha is a provisional teaching, while to have faith in Amida and say his name in faith is the main gate of Buddha Dharma, the universal gate of liberation for all beings. Also, Maitreya was present when Shakyamuni Buddha taught about Amida's salvation, and Maitreya himself entrusted to him and to his words. When Maitreya will descend from his Tushita realm and become the next great Buddha in this world, he will also teach about Amida's salvation. So as you see, we come again full circle to Amida Buddha. If you entrust exclusively to Amida Buddha, you fulfill the heart desire of Maitreya and all Buddhas. Question: do you ever feel like anything is missing for you without regular meditation? Answer: I really do not feel something is missing. For an ordinary person, meditation is useless anyway, because no one can attain enlightenment through it in this last Dharma age. More than this, meditation can even be a distraction from the primal vow. If Amida wanted us to practice meditation and considered meditation to be helpful to us, then he would have included it in his primal vow, which he didn't. As Honen said, Amida chose only his name from the myriad practices. Why? Because this name is supreme and all-powerful and will take us quickly to freedom from birth and death. Just think how wonderful it is to say the most important name in the whole universe. It is a pity people do not realize what great thing they say with their lips. The name of the most powerful, most compassionate, most wise, enlightened person in the 10 directions. What can be missing in that? More than this, Amida's name can be said at any time and in any circumstance. Perhaps daily meditation practice may be enjoyable now and then, but more often it is a burden because we cannot sustain a constant practice. So how can I miss something which I cannot regularly practice and cannot attain enlightenment through? When I have the name of Amida to say and enjoy whenever I like and in whatever situation I am, without the need to have a special concentrated state of mind, and when this name gives me total freedom from birth and death, why should I stop myself from saying it for this or that meditation, or mix it with this or that practice? When one is truly in love with somebody, one will have only the name of that person in mind. It is the same with Amida. If one is truly devoted to Amida, one will need nothing else beside Amida's name. I always say this to my Dharma friends, which is what Honen and Shinran said too. Be in accord with the primal vow. If we do something which was not mentioned in the primal vow, saying of the name in faith and wish to be born in the Pure Land are the only things mentioned there, then we are not in accord with Amida's wish, and we cannot be born in his fulfilled Pure Land. Even if we may think for a second that we can add something to it, we should let that thought go and come back to the primal vow and Amida's name. Question: we do many things at our temple. We meditate, do various practices, so we never become bored. Why don't you do the same to attract new members? Answer: in his primal vow, Amida Buddha mentioned that we should do 3 things only and exclusively. Entrust yourself to me, say my name, and wish to be born in my land. All these 3 are expressed in the Nembutsu of faith. It is a pity you are bored with the primal vow, and that you and your temple Sangha are not focused on what Amida asks you to do. If in the primal vow meditation was mentioned, then I would teach and practice meditation. But as only faith, Nembutsu, and wish to be born in the Pure Land are to be found there, I obey and limit myself to them. Please do the same if you wish to be born in the true, fulfilled land of the Pure Land. Our school is the school of the primal vow, so if you consider yourself a member, then be a follower of the primal vow. Master Shan-tao said, quote, abandon the teachings that Amida Buddha abandoned. Observe the practice that Amida Buddha observed, and leave the practices that Amida Buddha left. This is said to be in accordance with the teaching of Amida Buddha and in compliance with the intent of Amida Buddha. Such a person is referred to as the true disciple of Amida Buddha. End quote. The passage is very clear. We must abandon everything which is not mentioned in the primal vow, where only faith, saying of the name and faith, and wish for birth in the Pure Land are taught. If you do this, if you say Amida's name and faith, and wish to be born in his Pure Land, you are in accord with Amida Buddha's primal vow, and you are a true disciple of Amida Buddha. Any practice or teaching which are not mentioned in the primal vow, like various meditation methods, mantras, or anything else, should not be followed because they do not lead to birth in the true, fulfilled land of the Pure Land. As for attracting new members, Master Rennyo said, quote, "The prosperity of this school does not lie in showing off with large gatherings. If even a single person gains shinjin or faith, this is a true sign of prosperity. For this reason, it is said in the Honen Koshiki, the teaching of exclusive performance of the right practice thrives owing to the power of the devotion of Shinran's followers." End quote. So my interest is not in numbers, but in helping people to be in accord with the Primal Vow. The right practice is the name of Amida Buddha and should be said exclusively while relying on Amida's power to save. Only by saying Amida's name in faith can we bring spiritual prosperity to this school. Various so-called Jodo Shinshu temples around the world, which added alien practices or meditations to Nembutsu, although they are rich in members, they actually bring our school to spiritual poverty. They should repent and return to the name, which is complete in itself and already contains all practices. Quote, "The ultimate teachings of the one vehicle all point to the land of bliss as the last refuge. The name of Amida's Buddhahood is most distinguished as the embodiment of the perfect virtues of myriad practices." End quote. Quote, "All of the merits of the teachings, the meditative practices on the phenomenal aspect of reality and the nominal principle, the unmatched power acquired through meditation and wisdom, the wisdom of inner realization and the merit of external activities, as well as all of the virtues and undefiled enlightenment of Tathagata Amida, Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasatma Prapta, Bodhisattva Samantabhadra, Bodhisattva Manjushri, Bodhisattva Kshitigarbha, Nagarjuna, and the Bodhisattvas and Shravakas of the Pure Land are encompassed in the three characters of the name of Amida. This being so, would there be any Dharma not included in the teaching for birth in the Pure Land?" End quote.